Shalom everybody, I'm Fred Klein, I'm Rabbi at the Greater Miami Jewish Federation, and I'd like to share a piece of Torah with you from Farmington, Connecticut. Every season I try to come up to New England during the fall to see the change of the seasons, the hues, the dynamic nature of the fall in this area. And I always feel a real sense of mystery, a real sense of connection in places like this. You know, I think that that's such an important thing in our lives, to make sure that we create spaces in our lives that we can connect to our higher selves, to connect to the mystery of creation around us. It's not so easy always to hop on a plane and to come to New England, but we do have an opportunity every week to connect to our higher selves, to connect to our spiritual foundations. And that, of course, is every seventh day when we celebrate Shabbat. And Shabbat is introduced to us in this week's Parsha. Of course, we all know God creates the world on the for 6 days, and then on the seventh day, God rests. The commentaries ask an interesting question. What does it mean that God rests on the seventh day? Does God actually get tired? I wouldn't think that God would get tired. God created the world. I think God could take another day. Actually, the word in Hebrew is vayishbot bayom hashvi'i. God abstained on the seventh day. So God didn't do anything on the seventh day. So why did we need a seventh day? What's the point of a seventh day? If God didn't rest and God just abstained, just have 6 days. So I think we can look at it this way. One of the names of God in the liturgy on Friday night is Koneh Shemayim Ba'aretz, God who acquires the heavens and the earth. In what way does God acquire the heavens and the earth? In the sense that God created them. God created this entire world, and in that sense, God is the master. Think about the relationship between the master and God's creation. One day a week, God pulls back and says, you know what, creation? You have your own integrity. You have your own independence separate of me. That's a very important idea. It says on the seventh day, Vayikadesh, God gave this day holiness, and everything and the entire world, by extension, its own holiness. God pulled back to say, my relationship with the world around me is independent of my role as creator. And I think that this is very important for us, because we, like God, are creators. For 6 days, we're creating technologies, we're building buildings, we're building businesses, we're always manipulating the world around us. Then the seventh day comes, we pull back to realize the holiness and the integrity of all created being on their own terms. Think about the environment. The environment is not just for us to use or manipulate, but it has its own integrity, its own holiness. With people are not just utilitarian, that we have a purpose in our relationships, but they have their own kedusha, their own inherent holiness. Shabbat's a day for us to see the holiness of everything on its own terms. We need this day of reflection. In a world dominated by technology, in the world dominated by us as creator, one day a week we take a step back to look at everything in their own holiness and their own integrity. I think this is such an important idea for us. Shabbat Shalom.